Good afternoon and welcome back to the One Celtic Fans View. Brendan Rodgers has spoken to the media. That's a light off orange. It's background on, isn't it? And Brendan Rodgers has spoken to the media this afternoon, and Adam IDAH move has been put on hold. Now, I got a message earlier on, and we're not sure how accurate this is, but the move for Adam IDAH has been put on hold because Anderlecht now want more money from Celtic. Sound familiar? Yes, it does sound familiar, doesn't it? Anderlecht it's allegedly been said that Anderlecht now want extremely a bit more than they did this time yesterday for the player. Now, Marcello Suchi has been in training and an announcement. Well, if there is an announcement, it will be in the next half an hour or so. So if we are still on live, we might catch that one. But the big news is obviously the Adam IDAH one. It looks like that is going to be on hold. Brendan Rodgers said that no one leaves the building without me getting in a replacement. And asked towards the end of the interview, Brendan said he was asked if Adam IDAH does leave, do you then want in two strikers? And he said, yes. I wanted in one striker before. I want in two strikers now if Adam IDAH is on the verge of leaving Celtic. Now, it all comes down to what Anderlecht are doing. Have the negotiations with Anderlecht taken a turn for the worse, as they usually do with our chief negotiator? I wish we could just send John McLean in just to do the negotiations for us. I know he's getting old and stuff, but he'd probably still do a better job than Nicholson, wouldn't he? Anyway, in more Celtic news this afternoon, there has been a change to the schedule. We now know when a certain game will be played. Yes, the Partick Thistle game. The Partick Thistle game and the Premier Sports Cup will now be played on Sunday, the 21st of September. At 3:30, that'll be Central European time, so it'll probably be 2:30 Celtic Park time. So that is one adjustment that has been made already to the schedule for Celtic. The fact that we are going to be in the Champions League in the... I wish. So Brendan Rodgers was also asked about the Champions League, and he was asked about the need for players in quicker, and it was a very honest interview by Brendan again. He spoke about the fact that we need to get deals done earlier. We knew certain players were going to leave at certain times, and when you look, and he took Club Brugge as a prime example. They've sold, I think it was £70 million worth of players, and then they brought players in. And Brendan Rodgers says, look, it's not about spending the money. We know we're going to spend the money. It's about timing. It's about getting players in and getting them settled, getting them out of hotels, getting them into apartments, getting them and their family into houses. That kind of stuff doesn't happen in 2 or 3 weeks. Do you know, that takes about a month or so, and that's the real reason Brendan Rodgers wants in players, so that the time the football comes around, the players are settled. You know, we're bringing in players this week, and it's a month and a half down the line before they're really settled, because they're living out of a hotel. You know, they're trying to find an apartment. They're trying to find their way around a new city. They're getting chauffeur driven around everywhere because they don't know how to drive in this country. You know, there's all these different things. I mean, people that come from Europe are not just going to jump into a motor, hire a motor and start driving about the streets of Glasgow, because like, you all drive on the wrong side of the road in the UK compared to the mainland. And when people from the mainland come to the UK, they're like, you all drive on the wrong side of the road and everything's all crazy. So I can understand where Brendan's coming from. And it was the fact that Brendan said, who's he trying to pinpoint? Because he did say that we're all together. Brendan said, look, I've seen what's out there. You know, I'm not giving you anything. There's no split. Dermot Desmond wants the best for the club, Brendan said. And he also said that, look, Michael Nicholson and co want the best for the club. Everyone connected wants the best for the club. It is all about timing. And collectively, we're all to blame. do you know that it's not? He's not done a lot to convince me that there isn't some little miscommunication gap between people at Celtic. And and fair play to Brendan. And you know, he said, look, we look forward to the Europa. We look back, as I said, when we were live for the Europa League draw. You know, we ended up in 2003 in that position because we were chucked out of the Champions League. Nobody slates Martin O'Neill. Nobody goes, fucking Martin, you were shite, you got us kicked out of the Champions League. No, they think, what a fantastic run to Seville it was. Do you know, it was brilliant. So let's get behind Brendan and let's get behind the team, and let's, whatever players do come in over the next couple of days, let's get back to just pushing. And yes, you can have your negativity and you can have your banners about the board and call them pricks and want them to be out and all the rest of it. But I think that we should just accept where we are and let's move on with great style, because we've got an opportunity to have a fantastic run in Europe. And I think that we can if we get the right players in. Now, with the whole Adam Idah situation being up in the air, Sky reporters were saying that Adam Idah said his goodbyes last night. He was travelling down to Swansea. Brendan said, no, he's not. He's going nowhere until I have a replacement in. You cannot sell Adam Idah. Realistically, we cannot sell Adam Idah this weekend and then leave Shin Yamada and Callum Osmond to lead the front line. It's not happening. It's not happening whatsoever. Don't care how bad you think Adam Idah is, right? And I want no Adam Idah hate here, because what Brendan said is absolutely right. And this is Brendan putting his foot down. You know, it's like, yeah, you can sell Adam Idah, but I'm wanting in two strikers. Do you know, it's if Idah was down in the medical, wasn't in training in the squad, so can't be played on Sunday. He wasn't training with the squad. There's obviously things going on in the background, but then do you bring a player in? Here's the scenario: you bring a player in that hasn't played for us before, hasn't trained with the players. Now you talk about, you know, if Adam Idah wasn't in training, he can't be in training because his head's not in the right place. So it's like there's a game of chess going on right now, and yeah, Ian, you're right. Brendan was very cagey, and he's not telling us exactly how it is. But what he was trying to do, and I think that we can all agree on, he was trying to get a little bit of stability and bad media and bad vibe away from the club, because I think that that's ultimately affecting the players. I think the negativity from the fans in the stadium, the negativity from social media and all the pressure, I don't know. And yes, rightly so. Look, mate, you were chucked out of the Champions League. You're going to get this pressure for this point in time. And, you know, the players do need it in the neck. But at the same time, we've got a really important game this weekend against the Rangers. Yeah, Sky Sports could say he's having a medical earlier all they want. But this is what Brendan said in the interview that went out half an hour ago, that he's not going anywhere until I get a player in. He can be down there and sign he can do a medical, he could do whatever he wants, but he'll be back up here by Sunday morning if we've not got another player in. Mark my words. And it's only right. As in Farid Amida, waste our space. Come on, Red Scotland. Just he didn't say he didn't go for a medical. He didn't go for a medical, but he did say it's going to be unless he's been replaced. Yeah, which makes me think there could be something imminent. Yeah, there could be lots of things imminent. But can you get the point is do we let Adam Idah go this weekend, and do you bring a player in? And Brendan Rodgers would then be contradicting himself, because he just sat in that interview and said, this is why I want players in early, so they can get the training done. They can know. You're then going to bring in a player that hasn't played the formation, hasn't played with the team, hasn't done any training sessions. Do you throw them right in at the deep end? What it does say to me, Jamie Vardy all day long. Don't be surprised if Celtic announce Jamie Vardy at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning or 6:30 tonight, and Jamie Vardy leads the line for Celtic this weekend. Because Brendan Rodgers smirked that he does want 2 strikers in. There's no way are Celtic going to get 2 different things. Do you know, it's... I'll just do something, and we'll go on time out, 24 hours, there we go. Bye Red Scotland, it was nice having you. I don't know what your messages were, I read one of them, but you can just, you're no longer here. In fact, I've never seen you on the channel before. I think it was just, let me just check this channel activity. Yep, first 3 messages on the channel. What a waste of subscription for you. Anyway, we move on swiftly. You fucking prick. Oh, Jesus. Anyway, we move on. Oh, God. I'm having no more negativity on it. Vardy, I thought it was way to Pisa. Well, he's not signed for them yet, and it wouldn't surprise me that Celtic do a deal last minute for him. But who knows? Celtic have obviously got something. Celtic have obviously got something up their sleeves. What will it be? Well, Brendan Rodgers isn't giving up on players getting in. They've made a fresh attempt with a £4.7 million offer for a player that they went in dirt cheap with. Yang, who Celtic are still considering the £1.5 million offer. Brendan Rodgers said about Yang, he said that, look, sometimes when you're a player that's been on the sidelines as much as Yang has, sometimes you just want to go out and play football, and you can understand where he's at. And let's face it, Yang's not Celtic quality, so the quicker we get it done, the better. Will Celtic make any more announcements tonight? We'll hope so. They usually make one around about 5:30, 6 o'clock, so we'll wait and see if they've done that. If not, we'll just need to wait and see what happens tomorrow morning, because I'm sure that Brendan Rodgers will try to get someone in. And is the SPFL and the SFA offices open on a Saturday morning for to get paperwork done? Because it's happened before with Celtic. You know, they register a player, and then incidentally the paperwork doesn't get registered in time with the SFA for them to play a game on Sunday morning. Yeah. It's happened before. I'm sure it would happen again. Brendan Rodgers wants 2 strikers. Will we be able to get 2 strikers in before the game on Sunday? Never even mind the game Sunday. We need players in for Sunday. It's as simple as that. And I don't think that we're going to get it. I bet Lawwell and Nicholson don't go for cheap roses on the dam. What's that? Yeah, I was talking about Cadet. I was talking about Cadet. I was talking about Frankie. Yes, you're right. Back in the day, it's happened once before, and it's happened again. Anyhow, that's me done and dusted for the day. It was just a quick update to say that Brendan Rodgers wants 2 strikers in. We'll wait and see what happens with Adam IDAH. And the team that we're trying to get a striker off is up their what they want to 15 million, I've been told. How truthful is that? I don't really know, but it is the cry that's crawling out. Anyway, on that note, have a fantastic day, Celtic fans all around the world. I shall see you tomorrow when we'll go live at 9 a.m. Celtic part-time, where we'll do finally a preview on the Rangers Celtic game this weekend. Fuck.